Hi guys, welcome to Science with Miss Donovan and Kirby. This week is going to look a little bit different because we are going to be learning about citizen science and doing some programs on the computer. So we are going to actually just do everything on the computer. But before we get started with our project, we're going to learn a little bit about citizen science. So what is citizen science? National Geographic defines citizen science as the practice of public participation and collaboration in scientific research to increase scientific knowledge. Through citizen science, people share and contribute to data monitoring and collection programs. So that's kind of a long, drawn-out way of basically citizen science is people cooperating to contribute to scientific research. And this is actually a really cool thing for you guys to do right now because you can make a difference from your own home. And it also connects really well to peaceful schools because citizen science is also known as community science. So before we jump into a little bit more about citizen science, we are going to talk about what is cooperation and community. So cooperation is the process of working together to the same end. So remember, this is part of our CARE skills, and our CARE skills are cooperation, assertion, responsibility, empathy, and self-control. So we covered cooperation. This is important for citizen science because it takes people from all around the world to sometimes help contribute to different scientific research studies. So we all need to work together to get all of that information, to provide information about medical studies, about animals, about plants, about rainforests, a bunch of different things, and it takes all of us working together to do it. It also contributes really well to community. So community is a group of people who work and play together, share space, and share common goals or ideas. So all people belong to multiple communities and are considered citizens of those groups of people. Citizens contribute to the health of their communities. The more peaceful a citizen chooses to be, the healthier and happier their community will be. So if you are contributing to studying birds in your area, then Audubon, which we're going to talk about in a second, is an organization that does a lot of research into birds. You can contribute information to them and they can learn about the birds in your area and learn how to protect them. This helps our entire ecosystem and in turn helps all of us. So moving on to Audubon, we're going to actually talk about one of the world's oldest community science or citizen science program, and that is the Christmas bird count. So the Christmas bird count is a long-standing program of the National Audubon Society with over 100 years of community science involvement. It is an early winter bird census where thousands of volunteers across the United States, Canada, and many countries in the Western Hemisphere go out over a 24-hour period on one calendar day to count birds. So the 2021 Christmas bird count will be the 121st Christmas bird count, which is absolutely insane. So basically what you have to do is participants report the birds they see or hear within a 15-mile diameter circle. So remember, a diameter is a straight line through a center point of a circle whose endpoints lie on the circle. So basically what they do is there's a circle drawn that is 15 miles across. People stand on the diameter or inside the circle and report all of the birds that they see or hear. So you can do this if you're not really good with birds because you can go with a more experienced person, or if you're really experienced and you love birds, you can go out and contribute too. So this happens from about the middle of December to the beginning of January, and lots of different places have one day that they pick. And people go out and report all of this information to Audubon and other organizations, and they use this data collected in the wildlife census to assess the health of bird populations and to help guide conservation action. It's really important for us to do this and contribute to our community because scientists couldn't do this on their own. They need the help of thousands of people to document all the birds across the United States. So this is one way that you can contribute through citizen science to your community. We are going to be using a website called Zooniverse to actually do our citizen science. So Zooniverse is the world's largest and most popular platform for people-powered research. This research is made possible by volunteers, more than 1 million people around the world who come together to assist professional researchers. So this is actually a really cool website. We're going to go on it later and I'll show you a little bit about how it works. But you would be like, oh, why are they asking us to do this? We have computers. It's 2020. Like, why do we need people doing this stuff? It actually turns out that humans are better than computers at a lot of this stuff. So computers aren't good enough to find these animals or count the trees. So they may miss things, or you might be looking at a picture and be like, whoa, this seems really weird or really interesting, and report it, and they may be like, oh, I've never seen this behavior before. A computer isn't going to notice that this is interesting. They're going to just be like, yes, I see a penguin in this photo, and I'll move on. So humans have that innate curiosity, and that's what makes us really invaluable for these kinds of projects. So what we are going to do together is going to be the Wildwatch Burrowing Owl project. And I picked this because if you were in my class, we did talk about owls for a little bit, and I find them really interesting, and I think you guys will find this project pretty interesting too. So burrowing owls are small owls that mostly reside in the... I had a error on my PowerPoint. Excuse me. I meant to write southwestern United States in the northern part of Mexico. Donovan making mistakes, but I am a person too. I can accept those mistakes, and hopefully you guys can accept them too. So they are known as... I made another mistake. Miss Donovan messing up. They're known as burrowing owls because they make their homes in abandoned burrows that other animals have created. So they go into those holes and they have their lay their babies in there, lay their eggs, and live in there with their families. So this project, Wildwatch Burrowing Owl, is seeking to document the behaviors and development milestones of burrowing owl families holed up in a section of California. So they have motion-activated cameras that are strategically positioned at burrow entrances to collect candid data. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to count the owls and observe the behaviors that they are doing outside of their burrow. So we are going to hop over. I'm going to actually sign on to the program and show you guys how to get to the Burrowing Owl Wildwatch Citizen Science program and kind of walk you through it. So let's hop over on the computer. So the first thing you guys are going to do is type in zooniverse.org. That's going to be the website we're doing our citizen project on, our citizen science project. There's a bunch of other projects on here that you can do, but you are going to click on See All Projects and then scroll down. As you can see, they have some featured projects, and you can actually go through a bunch of different topics. So you could do projects on medicine, on nature, physics, citizen science projects. Really, they have everything on here. You can also sort them by most recently launched, most popular, most help needed, and do your own. So what I'm going to have you do is click biology, scroll down, and we are going to go to the second page because we are looking for the Burrowing Owl project. So second page, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see Wildwatch Burrowing Owl. Thought this would be a fun one for us to do. So on the front page, you can see how much of the project is done. Only 29% as of right now is completed of the citizen science project. You can see stuff from the researchers. You can see about the project. You can see some external links, so you can watch a live owl cam, which is pretty cool. But if you scroll back up, we are going to click Learn More, and this goes into a little bit about burrowing owl conservation and why they're doing this project and what they're specifically looking for. So if you want to read over this, you can learn very cute little burrowing owl about the burrowing owls before you get started actually doing the science project. So I am going to go back and click Get Started. So on this page, the first thing that's going to pop up is
a little message on how to actually do the project. So they have a bunch of little things on what to look for. The first one is looking at what you're actually going to be seeing. And then they show the different stages of the burrowing owl, so you can see the chicks from when they first hatch and what they look like. You can see what some of the pictures are going to look like of the family. And then you can kind of see what you are looking for. You have to count the birds so you can see how big the groups can get. You're going to see some of the behaviors like feeding and copulation and infanticide. Hopefully we don't see that a lot, but it might pop up and you're going to have to click on it. There also is going to be some other animals in the pictures that you can click on, and if you can't see anything or it's blurry, there'll be a prompt for that too. So in my first picture, there's no owls, but there is a rabbit. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on rabbit. There's only one. It's not dead, so there's no prey present, and there's no evidence of predation or mortality. So I'm going to click no, and then just click identify. Eventually. There we go. And then I don't see anything else, and I'm going to click done, and that will bring me to my next picture. So what's cool about this is there is 3 little buttons at the bottom that you can scroll through and see the different pictures of the owls within that time frame. You can also click the play button and it'll scroll through it for you so you can see them if another owl comes into the frame. So there is a burrowing owl in this picture, so I am going to click burrowing owl. There is no prey delivery, so I'm going to click no. I'm going to click no. There's no evidence of predation. There's only one adult present. There's no young ones. There's no young birds present. And there's no mating, feeding, or infanticide. And I do see a band on the bird's left. Well, I guess it would be right foot. So I clicked that it was banded. So I'm going to click done. So the next one I'm not going to do, but you can, if you get confused, you can go click back to the tutorial. And if you're like, oh, you're a little confused, there's also a sign-in. So you can actually create a sign-in and it'll save all of your data. I've done this for penguins and elephants before, and it's super fun. And like I was saying, if you get confused about anything you were seeing, you can click the tutorial and go through all of those prompts again if you're kind of confused to what you're looking at. And that is the